Alrighty guys, this is Friday and this is the results of the Batman swing trade first conceptualized on Tuesday of this week. This is the current market, and are we surprised with where the market is? You guys see why I like trading this way? Regardless of all the headlines, I believe there's been some Iran news, we've had some earnings, there's been some tariffs news, there's been a bunch of noise. These levels are conceptualized at the start of the week. They are from the quant trading app Advanced Gamma Exposure page. Then I draw the levels on my charts, and then I do a video at the start of the week sharing some trade ideas as well as some thoughts that I have on the markets for the week. As you guys can see, these levels are drawn out before price action. These are some trade ideas. These are all created at the start of the week with the exception of this one. I did make a little bit of a mistake with the Iron Condor for this week, so we're going to address that later in this video. But I just wanted to make sure to come on and give you guys the follow-up as I try to do every week with what happened here. We are now hovering around 688. This, as you guys know, was the main targets that I said for bulls. It was the sensible targets, hence why this Batman spread was structured this way. I'm just going to refresh the page so we see this is all live right here, and the market is being stuck around the level that we knew at the start of the week. This is the P&L history of this trade. So one day later, it was already in a decent profit. It really wasn't until Thursday where the profits started turning up, and then obviously here today, as it is expiring today, there is the possibility of a major win, but at this point it is now 11:40 a.m. Eastern time here, so this is a good time to start taking profits. I wouldn't want to hold something like this past 12. However, if you are in multiple lots and you scale out of something like this, then it might not hurt to leave one as a runner. Here is the P&L history of the trade. It was never really under the water except for Wednesday, which makes sense because the markets did explode on Wednesday and we did pierce above the P1 level here. If you're interested in quant trading app, by the way, link is in the description below, and you can check out some of my previous videos in which I explain these levels. But for the most part, I would say this is a relatively harmless hold. Refresh this page here and let's take a look going right down the list. So the Iron Condor, the mistake that I made this week was I played it too safe. As I often say, I'm not the greatest Iron Condor trader out there. I understand the levels, but I would not brand myself as someone that is excellent at them. I like to play it sometimes a little too safe, and I shared on Tuesday's video that going with the following week's Friday means it's safe. The problem with that is implied volatility for next week is not really decreasing, and theta decay is not eating away at these options fast enough relative to the movement in price. So as we can see here, the markets did stay right within the range that was expected, as this range was established from 691 to 670, as we can see right here in my notes, 670, 691. That's where I got these levels from, and that's where I got the range. I just convert the SPY to the SPX. I do my macro analysis on the SPY, and I trade mostly SPX options as well as ES options, sometimes SPY options, and also XSP options. I trade them all, including the futures. But I do my main analysis for the week on the SPY. So that is the range, and we can see how it has played out. But again, the issue with this being that it is next week means that the time decay for this week has not really kicked in. The hold for this trade is just what I would consider annoying, because this is one of those instances where you open up a trade like this, you have a great thesis or a great theory behind what you're expecting, and you can see for the whole week you've essentially made no money. I've made this mistake plenty of times before, and it seems like I'm still making the mistake by trying to go a little bit too safe with the Iron Condor regarding its expiration dates. In contrast, this is what I just did here today. So this trade was not shared on Monday or Tuesday, as the market was closed on Monday. This is the exact same spread, so the exact same strike prices, but this time using today's expiration, and this is the price history of that trade. So opened here around the same time, so 10:30 a.m. Eastern time or 11 a.m. Eastern time. Within this window, I generally have my video released on YouTube in the afternoon on the first trading day of the week, so that means right around here. So even if, again, you are watching my videos by the time they go live, which is going to be around 2:30, sometimes 3 p.m. Eastern time if I'm really late with it on a Monday, or Tuesday if the market is closed on a Monday, there is still plenty of time, as you guys can see. And this is one of the things that I try to showcase to you guys. Eventually, you'll be able to know what I'm thinking before I upload the video, or you'll be able to do your own analysis, and you'll be able to do your analysis on things aside from just the SPY, as the same approach is applicable to the IWM or the QQQ. I just prefer to do this on the SPY. Sometimes I trade the QQQ based on my SPY analysis, and sometimes I do the same thing with the IWM. I like to keep things simple for myself. yourself and be hyper focused on the SPY. But that means anytime during Tuesday's market open session here was the opportunity to get into the trade. The only dip being right here. So at this point, this trade was down at most around $1 per lot. So if you were in, call it 2 of these or 3 of these, you're using $3,000. Your biggest drawdown at one point would have been $300, which is not bad relative to how much it's up today. If you're in 3 lots, obviously that's about $1,200. And at this point, obviously you should be out of the trade as it is a 0 DTE. Yes, there's still opportunity to make a couple $100 more per lots, but why take the risk when anything can happen over the next 3 or 4 hours? I would say this is already a major win. So I wanted to point out a mistake in which I had and also show you guys that sometimes always being safe is not the best approach. As this trade now, you're going to be stuck in this and then tell yourself, do I take the risk and hold it over the weekend with the hopes that the market does not go any higher? Because now you need the markets to essentially pull back a little bit next week to make it worth the hold. Implied volatility will likely jump up over the weekend, so that means you're not going to make that much, and if the market was to go up, you see you're going to want to continue to keep holding the trade. So apologies on that, but the reason why I shared even this trade is because for me, an Iron Condor was not my choice or preference for this week. I had a bullish bias, but more specifically, I figured if you were going non-directional, this was my choice for this week, as this was the only trade that's non-directional that I actually shared that expires this week. As we can see right here, this is for next week, this is for next week, and this expires in 4 hours. These are the only non-directional trades that I mentioned. And this was my choice for this week. And that's why I decided to start the video with this. This was the better trade at the start of the week, in my opinion, because it offered a similar profit for the markets if it stayed within the range from the Iron Condor. Remember, this was established using the same range from the Iron Condor, which is why I like to start with the Iron Condor, because that's letting me know the expected range that I'm thinking for the week based on my analysis, some experience, and the gamma exposure profile. So with that in mind, why not take a trade that offers the same possibility to make money if the market stayed within the range, but the opportunity to make a whole lot more? Yes, the trade had a higher max loss, which means it requires a little bit more margin, but this was an instance in which I think it was well worth it, as I think you guys can agree just by taking a look at the P&L history of this trade. It was opened here or shared here earlier in the week, so the same thing. Let's just say you did check out the video Tuesday afternoon and you're watching it around, if I remember correctly, I released it around 2 p.m. Eastern time, so let's just say you catch it around 3 or so power hour, which is a great time to actually consider swing trades. Your biggest drawdown was the same here, so from 230 down to 260. I'm just going to round everything. So let's just say the biggest drawdown was around $200. The trade is now up about $1,000. So this drawdown of being down $200 to be up 1K. After Wednesday's morning session, the trade essentially just continued to increase in profits all the way up until today. And again, that's just because of this little bit of scare here on Wednesday. I actually shared a video on Wednesday afternoon addressing an update for price action for this week, but the expectation was that this area was going to hold. The market did spend some time below it, which was interesting here yesterday, but it was within this range that was expected to have a lot of choppy price action. Again, review the video early in this week to get a recap into some of this analysis here. In this range here, it would be expected to be choppy. There's a lot of levels that can affect price action, and we can see how choppy it was. Look at how much time the market spent chopping around here. It did hold up above this level, so I was not expecting it to actually get back down to 683. However, my expectation was this area was going to hold as some support. If you guys actually remember in the video that I addressed on Wednesday, I showed you guys my broken wing butterfly, in which this was my structure for the week. I was expecting the markets to be choppy in this area into Friday, but with a slight bullish bias and no risk to the upside. This is the trade in which I'm talking about. This is the position that I actually opened on Tuesday afternoon. So this was the start of the week, and then I did the video on this Wednesday. I'm just showing you guys how this trade worked out. My structure was around here, expecting the markets to spend some time around here, but with the possibility that it might end up pinning around here on Friday. However, if it did not pin around here, my bias was that the markets would go up and not down. So I was not concerned with the markets being below, we'll call it 820. Now, regarding the hedges, I shared these more so out of novelty in case you were concerned that the market might break down. This was the hedge. Pretty much it's dead, which is why we wanted it to be nice and cheap. We went with the SPY, we went with this week's expiration just to offer some protection overnight in case something did happen and the market was hovering around 670, which could have been a possibility, as this was another very significant strike right here, 670. Market never made it down to 670. My alert never triggered, but 675 was always expected to be the support. Again, this was addressed in the video early in the week, so I'm not speaking in hindsight. We're just seeing what played out. It's been over a month of me doing this now, and I've been trading this way for a few years. I'm only just now deciding to just show you guys at the start of every week and then following up at the end of the week. Moving along to a couple more trades, we had this one right here that I said was a nice, cheap, speculative trade targeting 695 in case the market was extremely bullish this week. That was the deep out the money targets. And as we can see by Wednesday, this trade was doing really well. It was up over 117% or up over $165 per lot with a trade that only cost $104 for a debit per lot. This is the price history of the trade here. As we can see, it exploded on Wednesday and then it's just been declining because of time decay as well as the markets pulling back. And this is the trade that I said it would have been smart to go with Monday's expiration, which is why this trade, even though the market is nowhere near 6970, it still has some extrinsic value, and that's why it's only down 27%, which is why it was worth it to go with the Monday expiration, as now this is still a trade to could possibly consider to swing over the weekend. I would say this is a nice week because it did offer some protection to the upside. In case you were in the Batman spread or even this Iron Condor, it means on Wednesday when the market was exploding and you were looking at your P&L and you're down around $100 on that, you're looking at this and you're up over 165. So this is essentially a hedge on your portfolio, and it means you can comfortably continue to hold out for your main convictions, which would have been the Iron Condor or the Batman spread. Again, this was the area in which we were expecting the market to be. At the highest level, I would have expected 691, so that's why we want to structure our trades to kind of target this whole range here. And then lastly, this was the trade I think for more advanced or people that like to trade on the very conservative or safer side. I addressed this 30 plus DTE put credit spread, selling in puts. As I mentioned on Tuesday, this was a great week in my opinion to sell puts. You could have chose any expiration, any strike. I just chose an expiration that was splitting the middle between a short DTE, something like a 15 DTE, and something that's like a longer term 45, 50 DTE, went around the 30 DTE, and then about a 0.27 delta. So something that's not too deep out the money where you're still collecting a decent amount of premium relative to how much margin it requires. This trade is pretty self-explanatory, but you guys can see here it's worked out pretty well also. On Wednesday, this trade was doing really well, and then it dipped a little bit as the markets pulled back, but it was still able to stay positive. Whereas this trade dipped into the negative because it was such a short-term DTE type of spread. It also has theta working against it, as this is short theta, so it does not benefit from the passage of time. And this is long theta, meaning is the market just decides to chop around and do nothing in this area, go up and then come back down and then go up again and come back down. This trade is going to make money as long as the market does not go down too large in a given period of time. So this has also worked out. This is the recap of this week, guys. I think it was a pretty clean week, even though price action was disgusting. Our analysis was spot on. Things did get a little bit dicey here yesterday when the market was putting in this type of price action in the afternoon. More specifically, it held below this neckline. If you asked me on Tuesday if I thought the market was going to come back down and then spend this much time below here, that's not something I would have expected. But now that we are back above 685, I would say there's almost no concern of the markets breaking below this level next week. However, if it does, that means things are going wrong. And when things are going wrong, that's where things can sell off very nasty or very ugly. So keep that in mind. I'm already giving you guys a little bit of a gem to take into next week. Obviously, we'll do our analysis next week, Monday. We'll take a look at what the gamma exposure is looking like. Expect the video to come out early next week, Monday. Also, I'll try to get it up around 2:30 p.m. Eastern time. But this is going to be our main expected demand zone for this week. That means selling puts below here. That means structuring some sort of butterfly spreads that are going to benefit if the market was to be choppy around here, but no risk to the upside is another great idea for next week. Like this video, subscribe to this YouTube channel, turn on the notification bell so you don't miss out on these videos when I release them, as now they're time sensitive because you guys can actually convert this information into live trades and hopefully have a great, successful, profitable trading year. Thanks for watching, guys. Leave a comment down below, like the video, and I'll catch you in the next one.